Hello, beautiful people. So, I felt drawn to make a video today that I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of meaning and the effect that you have on people, and that sometimes you don't actually know the effect you have on people and maybe how much you inspire people, and that sometimes basing your worth or basing your success or how much of an impact you're making on how many likes you're getting on Facebook or comments or arbitrary things like that. Sometimes you don't kind of get the full picture of actually the effect that you are having on people. And yeah, I particularly find that when I'm living on purpose and really living up to what really inspires me, and when I'm stepping up and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do these things that take courage to do. So like when I was sort of solo traveling and things, and singing in churches, and my writing and things, that I have people say to me, they're like, I really admire what you're doing, that I wish I could do that. Or you've inspired me to do certain things that they've then gone on to do. And I really love to hear those comments. That it's really beautiful to me, that I really feel that by us kind of stepping up and stepping into our power and being the people that we want to be and not being afraid of what people think of us, we give people permission to do the same. Because then other people are like, well, if they're doing that, then I can do that too. And it's like we give each other permission, like a permission slip, that like, yes, like you can do what you set your mind to as well. So like we're all rising, lifting each other up by showing up ourselves. And I think that's really really lovely and really beautiful. Um, and yeah, we never know actually who we're inspiring. That I've had a few times actually where people have said to me things that they haven't liked my poems or certain things that I've shared, but then when I've seen them in person, they've been like, "Oh, I watched that video that you did, and you were talking about this thing, and I was really inspired by it." And I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting. That actually I didn't even know that person was following me, or you know, um, kind of interacting with what I was putting out there." But yeah, they were really uplifted by it. So I think sometimes if we just put things out there and then not be attached to the outcome, then yeah, it's like we set off. If we do that, then sometimes we do set ourselves up for this roller coaster, because particularly things like Facebook, that the algorithms and the times of day that you post and all sorts of other things. And maybe I find as well that I do post quite a lot, so sometimes it's like, well, you know people get a little bit fatigued of, oh, they read the last one, but they maybe aren't going to read like the next four in a row or something. And that's okay. It's like, sometimes they're going to be busy one day, or they just don't have the attention to focus and read something. So when we're like, oh yeah, that one was a flop, but oh, that one was a success as well, it's like we're kind of setting ourselves up for the outside validation or failure, rather than the internal accomplishment of just putting it out there, and just no matter what someone thinks about it, that we're proud of what we're putting out into the world, and just enjoying the process of creating as well. Um, so yeah, I said a little bit in the last video. I did a video before and then deleted it, and I was saying that as well, kind of sharing your specific thing rather than like trying to adapt things because, oh, this is how other people are doing it, and I want to be accepted, but actually maybe that's not for me to do it in their way. So I'm particularly finding at the moment, I'm kind of looking into marketing and how to put myself out there and grow my audience and things. And I was looking at some kind of Instagram poets and how they do things, and And people who have a really big audience seem to just do really simple things, so it seems to be very just like a one-word meme. And I thought to myself, I was like, well, I can't condense down, like, some of my poems are like an entire journey, like a story of like 3 pages or something. And I think I even wrote a poem about it, that I was like, how can I be less when I've got this fire, glowing through my chest? It's like, how can I condense down all of that passion and all of those words and all of that, enthusiasm into a one-word meme, because people's focus and attention has become so deficit through flicking on their screens that they can only focus for that one split second. I'm like, I don't know if I want to kind of condense stuff down just to get people's attention for a split second. I want the people who are able to really show up and interact with me on a deeper level and be able to really be present. So yeah, there's something that I think it actually was in the Bible, but it's just a quote that I was using before I even realised, which was um, for eyes to see. I think I got this totally wrong. Basically for ears to hear that hear it, and eyes to see that see it. So you can put stuff out there, and two people might see it totally differently, and it's for the people who really feel and resonate with your message to be called by it. And yeah, that might be quality over quantity kind of thing. So you might have less of a following, but the people that you do impact, you impact on a deeper level. So yeah, if we look at our success just by how many millions and millions of followers or how many likes we get, then we're setting ourselves up for failure, because it's a very arbitrary thing, isn't it, that you might get millions and millions of cat video likes. So I'm just going to read this poem to you quickly. It's about the impact that you have. It says, they say that the butterfly effect could turn the subtle motion, the gentle flutter of a single wing, into a tsunami across the other side of the world. What if every ripple stretches far beyond where we had ever contemplated, our reach beyond what we could comprehend? Every look, every gesture, thought and action, what if it matters far more than we can currently conceive? Everything that we believe, the energy and passion we drive into our creations, looking up and smiling at a stranger, can be enough to save a life, showing up as a gentle saviour. The messages we bring, the words of compassion, can comfort someone in the greatest depths of their darkness. It is the motion of a wing, the planting of a seed, seemingly insignificant, but eventually building momentum into a mighty wave. How we behave, how we align and take action upon our values, it is significant, it matters. And even the smallest of perspective shifts can be the spark, powerful enough to bring about a revolution. So, yeah, we never know that you might smile at a stranger in the street and they were thinking about committing suicide, and you were just that one tiny little catalyst that made them think actually there are still good people in the world. And yeah, I just really feel that every insignificant thing that we do, that just living by our moral values is enough. And a lot of people are happy to stand up and preach their messages, but actually just day-to-day life of just kindness and being able to really hold space for people is incredibly powerful. And particularly if you want to bring about a revolution of what you want to see more of in the world, you have to be the one who starts it. That we're always waiting for someone else, and we're always looking online and saying, oh, look how bad the world's going, look how it's going down and this is happening and that's happening. But really it's like, well, if you want to see the world go a different direction, what are you doing about it? And you know, particularly rather than trying to, you know, change people's minds, sometimes just being a positive role model is far more effective. That people think, what are they doing differently? How can I do what they're doing? Because you know, I feel really inspired by hearing them. And you know, you're not preaching them, you're not saying, oh, like, you need to be more compassionate, you need to be more kind, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to take on my belief system. It's just, this is what I'm doing, this is my life, this is the way I live my life, this is what inspires me. And you know, I'm not hiding that. I really want to share openly the way that I want to live my life. And then the people who really resonate with you find you, they're drawn to you. And then together, sometimes the collaborations from that build even more momentum and create more light in the world. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say, beautiful people. But I hope that you're all well, and I hope that you realise how powerful you are just in every little thing that you do. Doesn't mean you have to be like, oh God, everything I do I've got to make an impact. But just realising actually the subtlety of every tiny little thing you do is a win. You know, if you felt like you were failing today but you just managed to look up and smile at one person, it's better than nothing. So lots of love, beautiful people.